what are some ways to reduce or eliminate debt? So in my Millionaire Maker book, as well as my Wealth Cycle book, but specifically this one, page 194, we'll get to that towards the end of the video, and a complete plan to be a millionaire reducing your debt. How do we do it different than you? Debt is just the cost of money. It's a math equation. It also can be a cash flow problem for those of you who don't know how to make your own money. So those of you that live on a fixed income because you have a W-2 paycheck and it's the same amount every month, that means instead of living within your means, we want you to grow your means, right? So we're going to talk about a few ways to create more income. First, before we do that, though, I want to talk about just the typical debt nightmare that's out there and the misinformation and give you some big red flags, because some of you, there's some debt consolidators that are going to give you a long contract. And at the end of it, you will feel better because your payment's lower, but over time, you're going to pay more and it's going to be ridiculous. You can't get out of those contracts without litigation. Then we're going to talk about how do you just make more money, create the life you want. Don't live below your means, within your means, grow your means. Like have a bigger goal, have a bigger desire for life. And then as an entrepreneur, solve more problems. Like that's what entrepreneurs do. Solve more problems, you make more money. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the order of operations, again, back to 194, and how do you strategically get out of debt without getting killed in over-interest payments, etc. So let's talk about why traditional debt keeps you stuck. So cutting lattes is never going to bridge a $40,000 debt gap. If you have $40,000 in debt, $20,000 lattes, I don't even care post-COVID if they're $8, $9, $10. Some of you, depending on all the stuff you put in them, you're spending that every day when you could spend 5 cents and just make your own coffee at home. Some of you have crazy lifestyle stuff, but that's more important to you than living financially independent. Budgeting, another big gap. Like budgeting is like a diet. It's punishment. It's restrictive. It says, again, live below your means. So now you are going to make a fixed amount and these are all the things you get to spend. Not a great life. Nothing you're going to get out of bed excited about. Most people, middle class, lower class, they save their way out, right? So then they go on these restrictive, elimination of, okay, I'm not going to do a latte. I'm not going to eat out. I'm not going to do these things. Again, not thinking at all that, I could just go make some more money because I want to spend more money. I mean, let's talk about it. The only reason you're in bad debt, right, which is consumer debt. Now, I'm not talking about business debt and capitalization of a company and things like that. That's the cost of money. So if you can get 0% debt, why wouldn't you get as much as you can? Right now, I have some folios in a stock account that are making 22 to 25%. So if I can get $1 million at 0%, yep, I'm $1 million in debt. But I can put it to work and make $220,000. I do it all day. Now, I always use those pretty audacious examples because I want to blow your mind. I want you to stop and say, oh, crap, I'm totally doing this wrong, because you don't understand debt. It's not bad to be in good debt. It's bad to be in bad debt. And the only reason you're in bad debt is because you are a lifestyle junkie, right? So you make a certain amount of money and your desires are outperforming your needs for financial independence. So you just make money, spend it, and you put it on credit cards until they're maxed out. The answer for all of that, just make more money, right? So figure out the life you want and then reverse engineer it. If you want a $20,000 a month lifestyle, right? And that's not even including all the assets we want you to buy. So if you actually made $20,000, I want you to put at least $2,000 to $4,000 away for new assets. So now you're down to 16. And then if you use our tax strategies, that might only be a few bucks. So then how do you spend that? And how do you reverse engineer what you really need? And then create a business to go make it. So let's talk about that. So in our Cash Machine book, also in our Put More Cash in Your Pocket book. So those are 2 books about creating more income. Put More Cash was designed in 2009, specifically because the statistics show the people who are losing their house between 2008 and 2010, all they needed to preserve their house and keep their house was $742 more. And that is how uneducated the world is. They didn't know how to go make $742 more to be in their household, so they foreclosed on their property. It's not difficult. That's what the saying I always say. It's not difficult. It's different. You need to go learn to make some money. You all have skill sets. You all have some great things you can do. This was actually made by this is a welder who have all sorts of weird little things they put together and welded it and glued it together. And I don't know, the wife was more of a jewelry maker. I have somebody who does metal art. Now they went from making small lamps to actually making big gates where you actually drive up to a beautiful property. Those gates are $15,000 to $20,000. Now they have a high ticket, and all they're doing is the same thing called metal art. There are so many ways you can make money. So sit with your family. I have a new tool that just got designed by a client in our community, and we're partnering on it. It's called Cash Flow Quick Start, and it's a cool tool. You're going to take the test really quickly, and it's going to show you some things you can do immediately to go make money. And then the fast, obvious one is, and everybody forgets this one, is I'm going to say clean out your house. There's so much you could put on your Facebook Marketplace, that you could put on Craigslist, that you could just sell. Take to consignment stores, have an estate sale, sell a bunch of crap that can make you a lot of money. I had families literally do this and make $10,000 to $20,000 just selling stuff that they don't need, they don't want anymore. Sports equipment goes for all sorts of different values, and old technologies, old Wii's, old switches, all those things, take them to GameStop and get rid of them. There are so many ways. I'm not going to leave an excuse around this, because a lot of you'd rather just watch Hulu, Netflix, or Paramount than actually get busy and make some more money. Debt is just the cost of money. Create the life you want and reverse engineer it. Now, while you're here on this channel, I want you to just click the subscription button, click notifications, so every morning it comes into your device, and actually listen to it. I want you to grab a journal. It's in the show notes, and start taking notes on all of the, what are you going to do? What are you learning? And start creating a 365-day plan. Like, what are you going to do differently than you're doing today? Now, the last thing is, what is the strategic order to pay it off? Now, I'm just going to give you the Millionaire Maker book. I want you to do the work. I want you to go to page 194 of the Millionaire Maker. You're going to take all your credit cards and you're going to line them up. You're going to line them up by balance and then by interest rate. And categorically, the one with the highest interest rate, you're going to put more money to. Then once that's gone, and then pay minimums on the rest. Then as soon as that's gone, you're going to take that entire balance and move it to the next card, move it to the next card until your bad debt's gone. You're going to also simultaneously go focus on making more money. And then you never get back in that situation. I can tell you, these debt consolidation companies, they charge you a massive fee. They roll it back into the credit card companies that pay a lot of that you don't see. But then you're stuck into these payments and you can't get out. And your credit's destroyed. And until you're gone, which if it takes 7 years to get through their plan, it's going to take you another 7 to fix your credit. It's a horrible, horrible deal. Don't do them. Do it like, I'm going to say, the good old-fashioned way. Make more money, strategically pay down that bad debt. In the meantime, I want you to continue, again, be on this channel. We want you to reorient your brain, your mind, your behavior around debt. When it's done right, it's phenomenal for you. It will totally 10x your wealth and your revenues if you use it right. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL. Ask a question, make a request. We'll back tomorrow.